Hello and welcome to the 4th episode of Art for a Better World. I'm Donald Brown. From the moment we're born, we're presented with a list of expectations that society often expects us to conform to. By doing so, we create a frame around our lives. Now, there is nothing inherently wrong with having perimeters placed around us, provided that does not create a prison around our lifestyle, and more importantly, a prison around our minds. From day one, we're surrounded with a host of different expectations. When to go to school, when to eat, when to sleep, when to do homework, when to go to college. Our expectations include graduation, finding a good job, and probably a mate, when to get married, how many children to have, the house to buy, and the kind of holidays we're supposed to go on. The list goes on. The question we should ask ourselves is, what are my expectations? What is it that I want out of life? What is it that you want out of life? And are these expectations fulfilling and giving you the quality of life that you desire? Very often I hear people complaining about their regrets. What they could have done, what they should have done. I should have studied harder, I should have got better grades, I could have got a better job, and so on and so forth. In some cases, their regrets could be a result of living life within the framework that society has presented to them from day one. The interesting scenario is that as we grow through life, as we begin to look and see that there are other goals that we can achieve, we realize that in order to achieve those goals, we have to step outside of the box. We have to think outside of the framework that we've often been told and conditioned to think and accept. Very often we do that. We accept those conditionings and those expectations without question. Why? Because so many people around us are doing the same thing. They're also conforming to the expectations, and so therefore, why shouldn't I? And so this brings me to the point of hidden talents. Very often we can live our lives in such a way that we continually conform to what society expects and dictates. The problem with that is that by conforming, we can sometimes be blind to those natural abilities and talents that we have inside us. But in order for us to dig down and find those gifts and to bring them into reality, we have to step outside of the box. But if we're in that frame that society has placed around us, then we can live our lives for a considerable amount of time imprisoned within that frame. You may have experienced watching others who have less talent than you, but they have gone on to think outside of the box and to operate outside of that frame that society has placed around them. And as a result, they have gone on to achieve success. The result being, you're probably looking on in envy and thinking, you could have achieved that, you could have done that. But because sometimes we allow ourselves to be imprisoned within the framework that society places around us, the years go by and the talents that we have remain hidden. It is also quite possible that you may reach a point in life where you begin to question your life choices. Why am I living this particular life? Why did I make these choices? Was it to please someone else? Or was it because I truly had the desire to pursue this kind of life? And in many cases, the answer is because society expected me to live my life this way. Another reason why talents often remain hidden is because we create excuses as to why we can't pursue them. And granted, in many cases, those lines of reasonings are valid. Responsibilities, marriage, homes, bills, things that we need to do in order to survive and ensure that food is placed on the table. The problem is, we continually suppress our desires to pursue our goals and talents. Many people say, my calling is in this, or my calling is in that. But by not being able to have those dreams realized, we are constantly living a life where those passions, those desires are suppressed. Over time, that can lead to a degree of negative energy within our lives. Wanting to, wishing to, hoping we had the opportunity to. And then, unfortunately, that can then lead to the kind of conflict and confrontation with our loved ones, because we often see them as our stumbling blocks. Because of them, because of the choices that we've made with them, they're preventing us from living the life we really want to live. I would like to take this opportunity to encourage you to begin, if you haven't already done so, to think outside of the box and to understand that even though your life might be conditioned and controlled by a frame, you have the control to step outside of that box. Thank you for joining me in this episode of Art for a Better World. I'm Donald Brown. Until next time, be good and God bless. Order your print of this sculpture and nominate a positive role model of your choice that has contributed to the empowerment of their community. Our judges will select from all of the nominations, and the individual chosen will be flown with their guest to London, England to begin the creation of their Bronze Portrait Sculpture Award. Luxury accommodation will be provided, along with fine dining and exquisite cuisine. Work on the sculpture will begin, and there will be ample time to see the sights and sounds of London, complete with a personal chauffeur. $10,000 will be donated to a community empowerment project of the award winner's choice. Art for a Better World.